Good morning, Ohio. James Ernest of the Grueling Truth here with John Beede of the Warrior Challenge 8 Quest for Boys to Grow Up with Kindness, Courage, and Grit. John, what inspired you to write the book?
James, thanks for having me on. That's an awesome question. I've traveled and climbed the tallest mountain on every continent. That includes Mount Everest. And in this journey, I saw, and I had this myself, and maybe you've even had this too, that what we're told that guys are supposed to do in order to be men is to be super tough, to never admit to having any level of pain, and just grit through it. And I learned that that was not healthy. And so I wanted to give a better framework, a better model for young men today about here's how to grow up with kindness, courage, and grit, because that's the ultimate definition of what I think strength is.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to say, it is kind of changed and evolved over the last, basically through our lifetime. Because, of course, like you said, our parents and grandparents, the grandfathers and the fathers were expected to be, tough and quiet and, hold the emotions in, where now the next generation, our kids' generation, it's completely changed. So it's kind of hard to know what to be.
And because there's not that clear definition of what to be, I strongly, truly believe that this points a better direction of here's a framework of here's a great way to uplift and support other people in today's world, and versus what kids are seeing as here's what it is to be a man. Kids are seeing point fingers, blame, project your negative emotions, gaslight, slam other people, and they're seeing that as the definition of being a guy or a man. No, being a man is about protecting, providing, supporting, and if you look at, you mentioned grandparents and former generations, never admitting to any emotions, well, look at what that created. That created the need for the Me Too movement. That created all the problems, many of the problems, I should say, that we're seeing in the world today, and I don't think that needs to be the case.
How do we raise the standards without overwhelming them?
Yeah, that's an awesome question, because you can't grab a 10-year-old and say, let's sit down and plow through these really tough subjects, and the answer is stories. That's why the book is written like a video game, where I found the most amazing adventurers and awesome real-life people throughout history who had to live by these virtues of kindness, courage, and grit, and there's 8 of them, and by putting young men in those stories, they have to live out the virtues in order to succeed at these stories. And so they're in the shoes of a Maasai warrior as they learn how to step up. That's challenge 1. They're in the shoes of a guy who jumped over the Great Wall of China on a skateboard as they learn self-awareness, how to see what's going on in themselves and how they influence other people. In challenge 3, they're in the driver's seat of a Baja 1000 off-road racing vehicle as they learn how to choose their values. So those are the first 3, and it goes through the 8 quests where to answer that original question, by putting them in these stories, they gain these values.
Nice. And the best part is, of course, all these stories are true stories?
100% true. They all happened, and they read like fiction because you're like, are you kidding? This happened? There's an Antarctic explorer who lived for 2 years by eating seal blubber. And you're like, are you this is a part of history? And I was blown away when I tracked down these stories, and I think that readers are going to just eat them up. Young men are just going to love these.
What organizations nowadays do you feel help the young men get to that goal of being a positive member of society?
Yeah, that's a great question, and there are many that are fighting for these same values. I love groups like as many problems as they have, Scouts ultimately teaches values. I think that FCCLA, Family, Community, and Career Leaders of America, FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, DECA, which is a marketing organization, 4-H, FFA. Groups like this really do an amazing job at teaching young people not only how to be competent, but how to live with values. And the Warrior Challenge, this book, would be an awesome companion to any parent who has their children in those organizations, or Boys and Girls Club would be another example. Any organization like this could use this as a companion.
So it sounds like this book's beneficial to the parents and to the child.
Yeah, and I fully recommend that parents go through this book with their children, because I'm not here prescribing, here are the values your family should live by. No, I'm saying here's how to choose what your family's warrior creed is, and here's how to get buy-in from your kids. Yeah, that's what our family stands for. And things that I just mentioned, like stepping up and setting healthy boundaries and living with intentionality, avoiding toxic relationships, being resilient, finding healthy friends. I think that all families could say, yep, that's what we want for ourselves. And if not, then you as a parent can say, sorry, we don't believe in this, Jackie.
Where's the best place for our listeners to find more out about your book and about ways to improve their children?
The book is available on Amazon, all bookstores. It's called The Warrior Challenge, 8 quests for boys to grow up with kindness, courage, and grit. And for your listeners, I will mail a signed insert if they go to this website. The website is www.warriorchallengebook.com, and that's also where they can get a free copy of an ebook sample as well as the audio book sample, which I narrated. And I'll mail them that signed insert. It's at www.warriorchallengebook.com.
That is awesome. Thank you, John, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you.